Greetings. It's an immense pleasure to share with you a bit more about my new book, Grassroots Pentecostalism in Brazil and the United States, Migrations, Missions, and Mobility. Recently released as part of Palgrave Macmillan's Christianity and Renewal Interdisciplinary Studies series. This book offers an historical and comparative profile of classical Pentecostal movements in Brazil and the United States in view of their migratory beginnings and transnational expansion. Pentecostalism's inception in the early 20th century, particularly in its global south permutations, was defined by its grassroots character. In contrast to the top-down hierarchical structure typical of Western forms of Christianity, the emergence of Latin American Pentecostalism embodied stability from the bottom up, among the common people. While the rise to prominence of the Assemblies of God in Brazil, the Western Hemisphere's largest non-Catholic denomination, demanded structure akin to mainline contexts, classical Pentecostals, such as the Christian Congregation movement, cling to their grassroots identity. Comparing the migratory and missional flow of movements with similar European and U.S. roots, in this book I consider the prospects for Brazilian Pentecostals with an eye on the problems of church growth and polity, gender, politics, and ethnic identity. For this book, I'm indebted to numerous individuals who gave of their time to join me for a personal interview. The interviewees included members and former members of the Pentecostal movements of study, namely the Christian Congregation, the Christian Assemblies, and the Assemblies of God movements. Each interview offered fresh enthusiasm to the project and opened new avenues of research. I'm grateful to the respective denominations in the United States and Brazil for streaming and making available to the public their weekly services during the COVID-19 pandemic, during which time much of the research for this work was conducted. Much of the impetus for the book emerged from a paper I presented for the Pentecostal Charismatic Movements Interest Group at the 2020 National Conference for the American Academy of Religion. I remain grateful to the Academy for the opportunity to present and discuss my work. Finally, allow me to take this time to thank my wife, Gabrielle, for her encouragement during the writing and for tolerating the many long hours spent on this work. I love you, honey. And thank you for joining me for this brief word on my new book. God's blessings to each.